Have you ever noticed how some people seem to get stronger with every failure, while others collapse under the weight of the slightest setback? It's not luck, it's not mindset, it's something deeper. It's something Nassim Taleb called antifragile, and once you understand it, your life may never feel as fragile again. We grow up thinking the goal is to be strong, to endure, to hold our ground when life hits. But what if I told you resilience isn't enough? Resilience is just the ability to not break. You're still absorbing damage. You're still taking hits. But antifragility, that's something else entirely. It means you actually get stronger because of the hit. You adapt. You improve. You grow, not in spite of the chaos, but because of it. Let me give you a metaphor. Imagine 3 boxes. In the first, you place a wine glass. Delicate, elegant, fragile. Shake the box. It shatters. In the second, you place a rubber ball. It's resilient. Shake the box. Nothing happens. It bounces back. In the third, you place a mythical creature, maybe a phoenix. The more you shake the box, the more powerful it becomes. Every shake is fuel. Every impact is evolution. That last one is anti-fragile. The thing is, most of us are trained to become like the rubber ball, not breaking under pressure, but we rarely learn how to benefit from it. Let's get real for a second. There's this guy I know. Call him Mark. Mark had a business, a good one, stable income, growing slowly. Then COVID hit. In a matter of weeks, his entire revenue stream collapsed. But instead of trying to bounce back, he did something else. He built an online version of his service. He leaned into what broke him, and today he's making 3 times what he did before the collapse. Not because he was strong, but because the chaos forced him to reinvent himself. Mark's not an exception. He's not some genius. He just allowed pressure to be his teacher. That's the thing about anti-fragile systems. They don't resist disorder. They learn from it. Here's the truth. Life is not built for the fragile. It never was. Markets crash. Jobs disappear. People leave. Health fades. The unexpected always arrives. On its own schedule. Trying to protect yourself from every possible outcome is a game you'll never win. But learning to gain from volatility, that changes everything. Taleb says, some things benefit from shocks. Your body does, your character does, your skill set does. Look at nature. Muscles grow by tearing. Bones get denser under pressure. Immune systems get stronger from exposure. Why should our lives be any different? So, how do you become anti-fragile? Let me give you 3 powerful principles. First, embrace optionality. Don't tie your survival to a single outcome. Anti-fragile people keep doors open. They build side skills. They test small ideas. They place small bets that can grow big, but won't destroy them if they fail. That way, when something breaks, there's always another path forward. Second, seek discomfort deliberately. Comfort is a silent killer. It makes you soft, predictable, fragile, but controlled stress, physical, mental, emotional, trains your system to adapt. It could be cold showers, hard workouts, difficult conversations, or learning a new craft from scratch. Every time you do something that stretches you, you're building anti-fragility. Third, let chaos teach you. Don't just survive hard times. Study them. What broke? Why? What system failed? Anti-fragile people reflect. They build better models after every crash. We're taught to avoid failure at all costs. But in reality, it's the best kind of data. When you fail, especially at something that matters, you don't just learn what not to do. You learn how you respond. You meet the real you, the one that shows up when the plan falls apart. There's this quote I love. I'm not sure who said it first, but it's this: you don't rise to the occasion. You fall to the level of your systems. If your systems are built for safety only, you'll panic. But if they're built to get stronger, every time something breaks, that's when you become dangerous. In the best way. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Being anti-fragile is painful. It requires you to let go of certainty. It forces you to watch parts of your identity burn so stronger parts can rise. But it's also liberating, because once you realize you don't have to control everything. Once you see that volatility isn't your enemy, you stop fearing the storm. You start learning how to surf it. And in a world this uncertain, that might be the most valuable skill of all. Let's start with your career. Most people build their professional lives like a house of cards. One job, one income stream, one skill set. Then a layoff comes, or the industry shifts, and suddenly the entire structure collapses. But anti-fragile careers are built differently. You don't wait for a crisis to adapt. You create mini experiments before you're forced to. Start a side project, freelance, write, learn a second skill that doesn't depend on your employer. This isn't about quitting your job. It's about not putting your entire life in one fragile basket. And if you're young, this matters even more, because the earlier you test, fail, and learn, the faster you build a career that can't be taken from you. Now let's talk about relationships. Most people avoid tension. They sweep things under the rug. They think fragility means silence, politeness, control. But the strongest relationships, romantic, familial, even professional, are anti-fragile. They survive arguments. They grow from feedback. They thrive when tested. If a conversation scares you, you probably need to have it. If you're walking on eggshells, you're in a fragile situation. Real trust is forged in discomfort. So don't aim to keep the peace. Aim to build relationships that get stronger after conflict. That's anti-fragility. And finally, your mindset. We often confuse confidence with control, but confidence isn't about knowing the outcome. It's knowing that whatever happens, you'll extract value from it. Anti-fragile people don't need everything to go right. They just need something to happen, because they trust their ability to respond, not predict. That's what anti-fragility really is. A bet on yourself, not because you're perfect, but because you're adaptable. Every stumble becomes feedback. Every failure becomes fertilizer. Every loss becomes leverage. So stop fearing what could go wrong. Start preparing to benefit from it. What if your pain wasn't a sign that something went wrong, but a sign that something deeper wants to grow? What if your setbacks weren't detours, but training grounds? And what if the very chaos you've been avoiding was the raw material for your next evolution? See, the world's not going to get calmer. It's not going to stop throwing curveballs, but you can become someone who uses that chaos, someone who doesn't just survive storms, but builds with the wreckage. That's not resilience, that's not toughness, that's anti-fragility. So the next time something breaks, a job, a plan, a relationship, I want you to remember this. You are not the glass in the box. You are not here to shatter. And you are not just the rubber ball either. You weren't born to just bounce back. You're the phoenix. You burn, and then you rise. Stronger, sharper, smarter. That is who you are when you stop fearing the fire and start learning to fly through it. If this message hit home, take a moment, breathe, and think about one part of your life where you've been avoiding disorder. Now, ask, how can I use this? Because that's where your anti-fragility begins. If this helped you, share it. Someone else out there needs it too. And I'll see you in the next one.